Welcome to the Explainer. Look, today we're tackling something that is honestly a universal e-commerce nightmare. Picture this, right? Your customer's on your site, they excitedly click buy, the money changes hands, but deep in your warehouse, that shelf is literally completely empty. And then comes that dreaded email. We are so sorry, but we actually don't have this in stock. Ugh, it is the absolute worst feeling, right? That, my friends, is the trap of overselling. It completely ruins customer trust and creates just massive operational headaches. But the good news is, it doesn't have to be this way. Today we're going to look at exactly how a wholesale B2B gaming distributor finally solved their chronic inventory discrepancies and completely transformed their order fulfillment. We are going to break down their journey, giving you the exact blueprint to optimize your own Magento store. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to start with the overselling problem itself, move into the ripple effect it has on a business, map out a clear 4-step inventory solution, talk about setting a verified baseline, look at the operational results, and wrap up with some crucial lessons for Magento merchants. Section 1. The overselling problem. The status quo. So, to really understand this gaming distributor's struggle, we have to look at the fundamental flaw in their legacy system. It's defined perfectly here as an inventory discrepancy. Basically, their system was treating reserved stock, items that are already purchased but just haven't shipped yet, and their actual physical stock as the exact same number. So think about it like this. If you have 10 gaming consoles sitting on a warehouse shelf and someone just bought 5 of them online, well, you really only have 5 left for the next customer, right? But because their storefront literally couldn't distinguish between units committed to pending orders and units physically available for new purchases, the storefront just kept displaying 10. It's basically a recipe for total disaster. Section 2. The ripple effect on business. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it shows that one single bad calculation just snowballs into absolute chaos. Because reserved and available stock weren't separated, items were literally being sold more than once. I mean, ouch. This online-to-warehouse mismatch meant customers were ordering products that were completely unshippable. And internally, total nightmare. Legacy inventory calculations were no longer dependable at all, which meant the warehouse and e-commerce teams were spending hours just investigating discrepancies instead of, actually fulfilling orders. All these conflicting records directly resulted in delays, order cancellations, and a massive spike in totally avoidable customer support requests. It was hitting their revenue hard and, more importantly, destroying their buyer trust. Section 3. The 4-step inventory solution. Before we get into the steps, we really need to consider this critical question. How do you actually separate physical stock from sellable availability in a live, constantly moving e-commerce environment? Because honestly, it requires a complete paradigm shift in how your system talks to your warehouse. So, here is the highly effective 4-step framework they used. First up, you have to fundamentally redesign your processes to separate sellable stock from reserved stock. Number 2, rebuild the baseline with a physical recount. Third, establish a single source of truth. This is absolutely crucial. So the website, the warehouse, and the order process are all looking at the exact same verified availability. And fourth, improve exception handling. You want to focus your energy on genuine discrepancies rather than just fighting with your own system all day. Let's compare the before and after. Before optimization, pending orders did not consistently reduce sellable stock. That meant the exact same unit could appear available to multiple buyers simultaneously. Yikes. But after optimization, the moment an order is placed, that quantity is reserved immediately. Bam, done. That committed stock is instantly protected from resale. Protecting your stock at the exact moment of an order changes absolutely everything about how your e-commerce business functions. It's a real game changer. Section 4. A verified baseline. This is a really hard pill for a lot of operations teams to swallow, but when legacy inventory data can no longer be trusted, a physical verification is infinitely more valuable than just trying another mathematical workaround. The distributor realized that because their historical records were fundamentally broken by, frankly, years of inconsistent adjustments, simply slapping new math on top of bad data was just preserving the uncertainty. Sometimes you just have to step away from the software. Rebuilding that baseline required a complete physical warehouse reinventory. They literally had to go in and count every single item. I know it sounds exhausting, but this monumental effort replaced years of long-standing, often incorrect assumptions with verified physical quantities. It finally gave the business a truly clean starting point for all future inventory movements. Because let's be real, you absolutely cannot build a reliable automated system on a foundation of unverified data. Section 5. Operational results and scalability. And this brilliantly illustrates what happens across the entire business when a single source of truth is actually established and respected. Because inventory reservation was fixed, stock is now protected the second an order drops. Because warehouse accuracy was verified, the online availability actually reflects the physical inventory. And that nightmare of overselling, prevented entirely. The same unit is no longer promised to multiple buyers. For the team on the floor, fulfillment efficiency just skyrocketed. They have way fewer orders requiring manual investigation. It turns out, clean data directly translates to massive boosts in fulfillment speed, customer confidence, and the ability to scale up and support much higher order volumes.
Section 6. Lessons for Magento merchants.
So the crucial point is this. If you take absolutely nothing else away from this explainer, please internalize this single axiom. Accurate inventory starts with separating available stock from committed stock, period. Without making this clear distinction, you're always going to be at risk of overselling products that are already allocated to active orders. Let's rapidly fire through these core takeaways. Number 1, you must prevent inventory errors before checkout rather than frantically trying to resolve them after a customer's already paid. A proactive approach dramatically scales down those avoidable support tickets. Number 2, ensure your e-commerce, warehouse, and finance teams are all using the exact same single source of truth for inventory. Stop comparing competing spreadsheets. And finally, protect your inventory the very second an order is placed.
So let me ask you this. Are your inventory records a trusted source of truth, or are they a hidden source of customer frustration? I really challenge you to look closely at your own back-end workflows. If you can't confidently distinguish right now between what's on the shelf and what's already promised to a buyer, you have a massive hidden source of frustration just waiting to surface.
If you are ready to stop overselling and start actually scaling, there is expert help available. I highly encourage you to read the complete guide and book a consultation with Rave Digital's Magento inventory experts. Get your storefront aligned with your real warehouse availability for good. Before you go, ask yourself one more time. Are your inventory records a trusted source of truth or a hidden source of customer frustration? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. And hey, here's to a much more reliable commerce operation. Catch you next time.